Good evening. I hope you're having a fantastic evening so far. You're just in time for TV47 weekend. Remember, you can interact with us at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms. But first, let's take a look at the highlights. Tonight,
My pleasure and honor to present this certificate to the MP-elect, Bwana John Njuguna Wanjiko, and wish him all the best.
UDA's Njuguna Wanjiko trounces Jubilee in KIAMBAA elections.
We are going to seek readdress through the court so that we can have the ballots recounted.
Jubilee's Njama Karere vows to move to court. Is the mountain becoming too steep for Jubilee? Also tonight.
Vile tuliona, hata vile nyinyi mliona hapo kwa bafu. Hatuna report nyingine. Sisi tunaamini labda alijua.
End of the road. Wanted police constable Caroline Kagogo found dead. Police launch probe into the matter. Plus,
sasa ndiye alikunywa tu kidogo, baadaye akafanya nini? Katoka. Sasa kutoka kumbe ndiye anazunguka, anaenda kujitia kitanju huko.
3 decades later, stigma among people living with HIV still rife in Kenya. Government urged to intervene. Welcome to the broadcast. Minimbesa is our sign language interpreter. I am Muthoni Minor. Starting off, the search for 4 commissioners at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC entered day 8 today as 3 applicants defended their application before the IEBC selection panel, with Maurice Amutabi hard pressed to explain why he is not a registered voter. First to face the panel was Koki Muli, who previously served at the permanent mission of the Republic of Kenya to the United Nations, and despite her wealth of experience, she was hard pressed to elaborate more on state matters, especially on the use of heavy state machinery such as heavy security details during the electioneering period. Ambassador Lucy Jabet Chalimo, who is Kenya's former High Commissioner to Harare, Zimbabwe, highlighted on the plight of many Kenyans who live in the diaspora who are wishing for some changes to be made on matters elections, saying Kenyans living in the diaspora wish to fully participate in the general election by electing all 6 representatives, among them MPs, senators and governors, members of county assembly and women representative.
Okay, fair enough. And what are some of the challenges faced by Kenyans in the diaspora on voting?
Thank you. Most Kenyans would love that they would make a decision or rather vote in all the 6 elections. But we are restricted to only 1 elections. That is 1. Number 2, like I said, most Kenyans are registered as members of diaspora with the embassy. But most of them will find it, they would wish that they would come and vote here. However, some still remain behind and vote. The challenge they will face voting at the embassy, more or less, is the embassy will be in the capital center of that country, and perhaps as a diaspora, you're located far from the embassy, and you're required to come.
Those young people, mainly young scholars from across Africa, to attend a training for 4 months at the University of Florida on governance, especially election management. And during that 1994 year, America was undergoing an election that got a President Clinton elected as president. So he participated in the training and also monitoring elections, and I was posted in Alacho County in Gainesville, where we monitored about 4 polling stations in that year.
Moving on, John Njuguna Wanjiku of the United Democratic Alliance is the MP-elect KIAMBAA constituency after trouncing Jubilee's Kareri Njama in the just concluded by-elections. Wanjiku garnered 21,773 votes against Kareri's 21,263, with a vote difference of 510 votes only. And as Mwangi Minor reports, Kareri has vowed to move to court to challenge the results.
Moments after John Njuguna Wanjiku, now known as Kawa Jiko, was declared winner by KIAMBAA constituency returning officer Peter Muigai, UDA supporters flocked Banana Town in their numbers to celebrate Kawa Jiko's win. Supporters broke into songs and dance while chanting UDA and Hustler Nation slogans. Kawa Jiko was declared winner after a 10-hour standoff after tallying of votes was temporarily halted following vote rigging claims by the Jubilee candidate Kareri Njama. And after the standoff, the winner was announced, UDA's Njuguna Wanjiku, garnering 21,773 votes against Jubilee's Kareri Njama with 21,263 votes, with a vote difference of 500 votes only. Speaking after receiving his certificate at the Banana Hill rally, Kawa Jiko pledged to fulfill his transformative agenda as he promised to KIAMBAA residents.
Tumetengeneza history ya kwamba serikali inayokuja ni serikali ya mahasla, watu wa mama boga, watu wa kuuza matumbo, watu wa miwa. Tukienda mbele sasa sisi wote, na mumedhihirisha na mumeonyesha ya kwamba nyinyi ni watu wa hasla kamili. KIAMBAA! KIAMBAA! Hey, hey.
Tens of MPs affiliated to UDA party flocked KIAMBAA shortly after Kawa Jiko was declared winner. The MPs alluded that UDA's win in KIAMBAA affirmed Jubilee party diminishing popularity and that the party is in its deathbed.
Nyumbani mwaka ujao, na tungetaka kuchukua nafasi hii tuwaambie machief na assistant chief, tulipiga nyinyi picha, tukachukua nyinyi video. Tukichukua serikali mtakuja kujibu hiyo makosa. Na tungetaka kuambia wafanyikazi wa serikali, wale wanatumiwa na serikali ambayo inaenda nyumbani, utawachwa peke yako kwa mataa.
I want to tell those others, today marks the beginning of an unstoppable journey to 2022. A journey of the Hustler Nation.
The MPs lauded KIAMBAA voters for what they termed as not bowing down to intimidation, threats and bribery. The UDA brigade has promised a huge storm as 2022 polls draw near.
Tumerudi hapa tena na tumekuja kwa heshima ya ile kazi nyinyi mmefanya kubadilisha siasa, sio ya KIAMBAA peke yake, siasa ya Kenya mzima.
Tunatoa shukrani zetu za dhati na tunasema asanteni sana, tunawapenda.
On his part, Deputy President William Ruto has hailed UDA for their first win in a parliamentary election. Ruto said voters in Mogoga ward in Kabete and KIAMBAA constituency voted out of free will. The Deputy President, while celebrating the win, said UDA is keen on moving the country forward by abandoning divisionary politics and instead advocate for inclusivity and a united country.
Na unajua watu wa KIAMBAA tuliwafanyisha mtihani mgumu sana, to choose between the present and the future. Na wakawa ni watu werevu, watu wa KIAMBAA na Muguga. Wakasema, we have business with the present, tutapatia kiti ya Muguga. Na pia tuko na mpango ya future, wakapatia kiti ya UDA kutoka KIAMBAA.
And as Kawajiko celebrates his win, it is a matter of wait and see who will have the last laugh, as Jubilee aspirant Kareri Njama announced that he will move to court to challenge Kawajiko's win. Kareri, who has not conceded defeat, says the election was marred with irregularities.
We are going to seek readdress through the court so that we can have the ballots recounted. One, we had identified 3 key ballots from specific polling station. That is Kashie Primary School, we have Kawaida Nasari and Moshada Nasari that had not conformed with the expectation of the counting process.
It's unfortunate that people brought in the issues of the party to KIAMBAA people, and they denied them a chance to be served by a very humble man. A man who has been with them all through. A man who has sponsored them. The man who has sponsored their children. A man they have lived. But because of party politics, people came to flex their muscles. But I just want to remind Kenyans, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was not on the ballot. The person who was on the ballot was Kareri Njama as our candidate in Jubilee.
The race to fill in the shoes of late KIAMBAA MP Paul Koinange had attracted 8 candidates. Mwangi Maina, TV47 KIAMBAA, Kiambu County.
Thank you, Mwangi Maina, for that report. Now, still on political matters, the Jubilee Party was yet again the biggest loser in the just concluded by-elections, despite retaining the arguably less significant Mogoga MCA seat, only to be trounced in the KIAMBAA parliamentary contest by the UDA party. The 2 contests that were seen as a second chance for Jubilee after the party suffered a string of humiliations barely months ago in Juja and Rore now seem to have made matters even worse, perhaps decisively settling the Mount Kenya supremacy battle between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto. But what went wrong again for the president's party, which is feared to be on its deathbed? And what does the umpteenth humiliation mean for Jubilee and its leader, President Kenyatta's grip of his Mount Kenya backyard with barely 13 months to the next general elections? David Mothoka reports.
Friday morning, the UDA party painted KIAMBAA constituency yellow and green as residents joined the frenzy to welcome their MP-elect, John Njuguna Wanjiku. There was not even a slight touch of red in the jubilant sea of UDA supporters as the celebrations that had been delayed after the Jubilee side had seen the vote count suspended, citing electoral fraud, stretched into the afternoon. UDA's Njuguna had trounced Jubilee's Kareri Njama in what is the latest case of Deputy President William Ruto testing the waters and flexing his political muscle in President Kenyatta's turf.
Hii ni kuanza tu. I can assure you, the entire especially Mount Kenya where I come from, we are hustlers. Na ndio umeona they have voted overwhelmingly.
Kilometers away in Muguga Ward, Kiambu County, Jubilee officials were breathing a sigh of relief after their candidate narrowly escaped defeat by a whisker in another down-to-the-wire tally exercise. A 27-vote difference had just cemented Jubilee's Githinji Mungara's victory over UDA's Kamau Dhumbi, but not without signaling wide cracks among the electorate, who in the past 2 elections have overwhelmingly supported Jubilee candidates.
Elections are about winning or losing sometimes. And it's not a must that somebody should feel entitled that they must win. It could be that priorities have changed with Wananchi and maybe they want a different leader.
In the wake of the bittersweet outcome, the Jubilee party knows too well it not only missed the most important seat, but also edged closer to a point of no return by going into war with itself again. First in Juja and Rurie, and now in Muguga and KIAMBAA.
Give it up. You've tried. You cannot stop God's will. If God has destined that William Ruto will be the 5th president of this country, you can only ask how you are going to live under that presidency, not whether you are going to live under that presidency.
On the other hand, the string of Jubilee losses further indicate that the president's political fortunes could be dwindling in the mountain. And with no by-election in sight between now and his retirement, the head of state might have just exhausted his bullets in the battle for Mount Kenya supremacy, pitting him and Deputy President William Ruto.
Asanteni sana kwa kazi ambayo mmefanya. Leo mumeonyesha kuwa the people's power is greater than the people, the power of the people. The people's power is greater than the people in power, sindio?
Leaders affiliated to the second in command on Friday poked holes at the president's camaraderie with ODM party leader Raila Odinga, terming it the beginning of the Jubilee party's end.
We are calling upon all leaders, kujeni, hata wale walikuwa wamepotea njia, badala ya kuenda huko mnapelekwa NASA, kuja hapa nyumbani, wananchi wanakugoja.
But what is poison for the head of state has turned out to be food for Ruto, who has since shown interest to vie for the presidency next year, using the wheelbarrow-symboled UDA party as his political vehicle. The simmering divisions, if they are anything to go by, show that he has a claim of the vote-rich Mount Kenya region and an even bigger one in the president's own backyard of Kiambu.
Even from yesterday, we have been receiving calls from many sitting governors, many sitting MPs. They have already seen the wave. The wave in Mount Kenya region is UDA.
With just 12 months to retirement, the president is now in a race against time to put his Jubilee house in order, failure to which he risks leaving a party that is a shell of its former self, a backyard polarized, his support base scampered, and a legacy in doubt.
A legacy is not created by projects. A legacy is not created by roads, neither by electricity, neither by SGR. A legacy is created by love. Yes. A legacy is created by a sense of humanity and respect for everyone. Kindly disregard those people who are leading you to that path.
David Mudhoka, TV47.
Thank you, David Muthoka, for that report on Jubilee's string of by-election losses. Now it's time to take a short break. We will be right back with more. Just stay with us.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we roam the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big mansion it because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV47. Where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask,
Does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa, angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata Hawa. Oya, mimi ni Adam.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
My name is Monica Nyashira Njogona. I am a wife and a mother of 3, and I am a crochet ambassador. This began some years ago when I could not find a white-collar job. I had done a course in IT. I looked for jobs everywhere and I could not find one. So I had a lot of time in my hands, and I had an idea to do crochet.
So we have a WhatsApp group. There are about 3 WhatsApp groups. They are actually full. We've been sharing information, consulting, and just encouraging each other. But surprisingly, the challenges we've been experiencing are similar. So we just try to find a way of managing our challenges. Then all of a sudden there's a challenge coming up, and that is organized by the Hazina Institute.
We realized that many people had lost their jobs. Some businesses were downsizing or closing, and therefore people were at home. Plus we had the government directives for people to work at home and avoid so much going outside. And we thought this would be a good initiative, not just to keep people busy, but also to deal with their mental health.
Most basic stitch is a chain stitch, where you just yarn over and then pull through that knot. Yarn over, pull through the knot. Yarn over, pull through the knot. So just that.
We were able to
Welcome back to TV47 Weekend. Now, the UDA party has yet a going subject the Jubilee Party to an ignominy after its candidate in the KIAMBAA parliamentary by-election, Njuguna Wanjiku, trounced Jubilee's Kariri Njama in a tight race. UDA chairman and former Machakos Senator Johnston Muthama is buoyant. He spoke to TV47's Elizabeth Mutuko moments after the KIAMBAA victory, and she began by asking him how he felt about the win in Jubilee's staff.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Senator. How do you feel?
You're most welcome.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
Because Kenyans, they have seen hope with UDA, and they are entrusting this party to pull them from this serious poverty and give them some breathing space where they can manage their lives under the leadership that will recognize them. So because we have policies which we are selling to Kenyans, and we have given ourselves out to lead and sacrifice our lives and our time and whatever we have for the sake of providing that leadership to Kenyans, to us it was not a big deal. We went to Musambweni, we won a seat there, parliamentary seat there. We went to Juja with the Moses Kuria's party. We won the seat there. Now it was KIAMBAA plus other elective positions of MCRs. So to us it's not a big deal, because as leaders we are not looking at being congratulated or celebrating. So for us it is a victory that was given to Kenyans because Kenyans believes on us. If you know, that area was being referred as the area that belongs to the sitting president. It was being referred as the bedroom of the president. But one thing, and I wish to congratulate people of Central Kenya, is that they refused and defied that kasumba of being told, vote in this way because this party is the party of your community. Go this way because your leader from your community says this. Kenyans from Central and other areas, like the areas I mentioned, they have decided to do away with tribal chiefs and pursue their own way of achieving the best leadership.
During this is a new party.
Yes.
And which has lasted not more than 5 months, and you've managed to clinch several political parliamentary seats. What worked for you in KIAMBAA, and considering it's President Uhuru Kenyatta's stronghold, if we can say so?
It's not only that we have managed to win political positions, but we are the largest party today in Kenya. We have covered the whole country. And this is, as I said, hardly 5 months. If you give us now, between now and May next year, then it is going to be demonstrated by Kenyans that this is what we have been waiting for. And because our policy to unite Kenyans, they believe in that. But let me say this. If you look at many other political parties, they are led by chieftains from their communities. In fact, hardly every political party in Kenya, you find the party leader comes from this community, the chairman comes from the same community, or the vice chairman comes from the same community, or the secretary general comes from the same community. Unlike UDA, the leadership spread, and now we have interim leaders.
I understand 2022 will be just the other day, a year or barely a year, and we'll be there. Today you've won KIAMBAA, but then what are your strategies to ensure that you clinch the presidential seat and many more other seats for the government?
We don't want to plan on how to twist votes. We are planning on how to win Kenyans' confidence. And that language we have. If there is one team that has people who can ask and solicit votes from Kenyans, then it is UDA. That's point number 1. Point number 2, after this victory, between 6 and 1 o'clock today, I have received calls from serious and senior members of the political parties in this country. And they are recognizing that within that 4 or 5 months we have been in existence, we have managed to win the hearts of Kenyans. And now they are asking, how can we come in? How can we join hands? The only thing we are saying is the doors are open. Come to the party. We don't want to have 99% of Kenyans, but we want to have between 60 and 75% of Kenyans being members and sympathetic to UDA, because we don't want to kill the opposition. We don't want to get into the power, and we have no team to apply checks and balances on us. We want to get to the power and leave that space to be checked on how we are doing. So what we are saying is this: we have no time to meet with chieftains from their communities, being their representatives. And then somebody comes and says, you see, I'm the leader of KIAMBAA community, give me a space. Or I'm a leader of Luhya community, give me a space. Or I'm a leader of Luo community, give me a space. We are saying no, we are not going to do that. Because if we do that, then we have Lendiles who have got no political parties. We have Mijikendas who have got no political parties. We have Masais who do not have political parties. We have Muslims in this country who does not have political. Where are we placing them? We cannot create that high place there that we say it is for the well-known and well-recognized and the biggest number of communities in this country.
Deputy President William Ruto said that this was just a friendly match. Does it mean that he has made significant inroads in the Mount Kenya region?
Now, when you say this was a friendly match, you have seen football teams or countries going to play with other countries to do rehearsal on what will happen. Let me give you a joke, a big one. Why he used that word of friendly match is because we were just dealing with one constituency, and now we allowed them to try and bring the deep state representatives, because it's only one constituency, having in mind In 2022, we'll have 290 constituencies. The police force that was in KIAMBAA will not be available in any other constituency. We will have a minimum number that will provide law and order. But the ganging up, the way they did now, because we tested them and we know what they can do, and because in 2022 we will have 290 constituencies, not one. If they could not manage this one, why is it not a friendly match?
Do you think Deputy President William Ruto is going to use UDA as this outfit towards the presidential?
Well, if Jubilee goes away, it is going, because it is going home. Actually, Kiraitu put it very clearly the other day, Governor Kiraitu. He said it is dead. Preparation of burial has taken place. Or what we are waiting now is to lower the coffin into the grave and then cover it. And that will be the end of Jubilee. So if that party is not there, of course, William Ruto is a human being. You have to survive, you have to exist, you have to move with his life, and more so the life in politics. So he will have to use UDA as a political party.
Thank you so much for giving me that.
And can I say something?
Yes.
UDA is not outside the Jubilee party. UDA was PDR, that was in coalition with Jubilee. So the only thing we changed is the name. Other manifestos and agreements, understandings remains the same.
You've said that some leaders feel that President Uhuru Kenyatta and some of the leaders are helping the UDA party to be popular, maybe for future use.
Well, I cannot say that, but you know, there's this saying which you say, if you cannot beat them, what is the option?
You have to join them. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. And thank you so much for watching TV47, this segment. I'm Elizabeth Mutuku.
Thank you, Elizabeth Mutuku, for that intricating report with Mudhama's sentiments on KIAMBAA's victory that was witnessed today. Now, that story takes us for another short break. We will be right back with more. Do stay tuned.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big machine because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV47, where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man? Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa. Angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata hawa. Oya, mimi ni ada.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
My name is Monica Nyashira Njogona. I am a wife and a mother of 3, and I am a crochet ambassador. This began some years ago when I could not find a white-collar job. I had done a course in IT. I looked for jobs everywhere and I could not find one. So I had a lot of time in my hands, and I had an idea to do crochet.
So we have a WhatsApp group. There are about 3 WhatsApp groups. They are actually full. We've been sharing information, consulting, and just encouraging each other. But surprisingly, the challenges we've been experiencing are similar. So we just...
Welcome back. Now, controversy has marred the death of fugitive police officer Caroline Jemutai Kangogo, whose body was found in a bathroom in her parents' home in Elgeyo Marakwet. Kangogo was on the run for 10 days after she allegedly killed a police officer in Nakuru and a man in Juja in a span of 24 hours. Our reporter Willie Dennis Njiru has this story.
Caroline Kangogo's lifeless body was discovered by her mother lying in a pool of blood in her parents' bathroom. The mother then informed the area chief, prompting the police to swing into action.
Ilikuwa leo kama around saa 2 tulipata ripoti kwamba marehemu alipatikana akiwa ameaga katika bathroom. Mama yake mzazi alipokuwa anaenda kuosha bathroom akapata mwili akawa amejipiga risasi.
Ndio mzee akasema hata at least angekuja kuniambia hata neno la mwisho nini inaendelea. Unaona? Akakumekuja tu na akaingia bafu na akajimaliza pale hivyo tu na akaenda hivyo.
Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea affirmed the saying that Kangogo died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the head. However, a post-mortem report is yet to be done with preliminary information on site revealing a spent cartridge and a live ammunition in the pistol chamber.
Tujui kama alikipiga risasi kwa sababu alikuwa na bunduki. Kama shule tuliona, hata shule nyinyi mliona hapo kwa bafu. Hatuna report nyingine. Sisi tunaamini labda alijua.
Hatukusikia risasi yote kwa sababu ilikuwa marasharasha mwendo wa saa 11. Marasharasha ikiwa. Ndio hata mzee akasema hatukusikia sauti ya risasi hiyo yote vile.
However, controversy and speculations following the death still remains rife as pictures making rounds on social platforms left more questions than answers.
Asubuhi nikienda pale shambani ndio nikapata mzee amepiga nduru. Asubuhi kitu saa 1 hivi. Kufika saa 1 ndio akaniambia hiyo msichana amejipiga risasi. Ndio pale nikakuja nikienda shambani nikamwona kwa bafu pale. Tukiwa 3 tu na mzee na mama na kijana. Ndio nikamshuhudia amejipiga risasi na amelala. Ndio tukapiga manduru, ndio tukaweza watu wakuja.
Tumehuzunika sana kwa matokeo kama hizi. But ndaambia to my family members, to familia na tukubali imeshatendeka. Hatuko tuna expect atafanya vitu kama hizo. Lakini amefanya mabaya hivyo.
Kangogo was the main suspect for the murder of 2 men, John Ongweno, a police officer in Nakuru, and Peter Ndwiga, a businessman in Juja. It is alleged that Nakuru-based cop shot dead her colleague, Constable Ongweno, on Monday 5th July and fled to Juja, where she allegedly killed businessman Peter Ndwiga in a hotel room.
Hapo mbele mlisikia katika vyombo vya habari kwamba alipiga ofisa wa polisi mwenzake na akaua Nakuru, na baadaye ikapatikana kwamba aliua mwingine huko Juja. Hayo mlikuwa mnajua. Mtu yangu kwa wazazi ni kwamba ukiwa na mtoto ama familia, chunguza mwenendo wa mtoto yako. Anza kuwa na shida fulani, hiyo kama ingejulikana vizuri, unaweka mtoto mnaongea, anakuambia shida yake nini.
Police had cautioned the public to be on the lookout for the rogue officer who was out to lure men before executing them in a cold blood. Kangogo had gained experience as a crime buster in police service who had made it difficult for the police to pin her down, prompting for an amnesty offer.
Mtu yangu kwa other police officers, na ukubwa wetu, ukiwa unasimamia mtu, kama kuna shida, jaribu kujua shida ni nini. Shauri vitu kama hizo keto mara moja, utaona mwenendo inakuwa njia nyingine si mzuri. Vitu kama hizi tunatuangalia kama si wasimamishi ya ofisi za polisi.
Her body has since been moved to Iten County Referral Hospital mortuary awaiting autopsy. For TV47, I'm Willie Dennis Njiru.
Moving on, the number of COVID-19 infections in parts of Nyanza and Western region is slowly declining. Today, Kisumu County recorded 7 cases, the lowest in weeks. But as Zainab Mohammed reports, stakeholders have warned if the government does not prioritize vaccination of more Kenyans, the numbers could spike again.
Good news for counties in Western and Nyanza region as Health CS Mutahi Kagwe announces a decline in COVID-19 cases in the region. According to Kagwe, Kisumu County, that had the highest disease burden in the region, is now recording very few cases, with the county recording only 7 cases today.
In Nyanza, the positivity rate has begun to decline. It's begun to come down as a result of the measures that we took there, including the curfew, increasing curfew hours. In fact, Kisumu, which was of serious concern when we began, is showing very good progress.
The 13 counties were put under strict COVID-19 containment measures last month, following a rise in infections in the area due to the dominance of the Indian Delta variants in the region. This even as the country continues to deal with vaccine shortage crisis, with the government seemingly lacking a proper, clear and concise plan to vaccinate 10 million persons by the end of the year, as promised by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
The rest of the vaccination process for Johnson & Johnson will be as the supply comes, so that at the end of the period, we expect to have gotten our 13 million doses. It is very difficult, Zainabu, for us to cheat Kenyans or to tell Kenyans with finality that we are going to get so many doses by specific date. Why? The reason being that we are not in control of the supply programs.
So far, less than 500,000 adult Kenyans have been fully vaccinated. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Thank you, Zainab Mohammed, for that report. As we have seen, the numbers of COVID-19 infections in parts of Nyanza and the Western region are slowly declining, as today Kisumu County has recorded 7 cases, which is the lowest in weeks. Thank you, Zainab, for that report. Now, moving on, it has been 3 decades since the first case of HIV was reported in the country. Tremendous inroads have been made through scaled prevention and treatment of infections. However, the stigma attached to the syndrome still flourishes. Our reporter Violet Oma spent time with people living with HIV in Kakamega County, and as she reports, majority of patients have been shunned by the society due to their HIV status, forcing others to commit suicide.
Yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anatamka akisema vivo, hata kama nakufa, madaktari wa Butere ndio wanafanya, mimi nafanya nini? Naenda kufa. Na ni kweli alikufa, ni huyo hapa.
She cries uncontrollably as she remembers the death of her husband. Salome, not her real name, narrates to me her story.
Aliamka tu vizuri. Akakunywa, huwa napiga uji hapo, uji ya wimba hapo kwa nini. Sasa ndiye alikunywa tu kidogo, baadaye akafanya nini? Katoka. Sasa kutoka kumbe ndiye anazunguka, anaenda kujitia kitanju huko. Hiyo masandi anamezanga dawa ya asubuhi. Hiyo dawa hakuna.
She tells me she lived a blissful life with her husband even after the news of their positive status knocked at their doorstep.
Akasema tu mimi kama madaktari wanaona nimewachoka kwa hospitali. Wanaona wengine wako wenye watapewa madawa. Mimi yangu huko Butere naona kama inafanya nini? Inaisha. Nikimuuliza inaisha aje? Wiki mbili imeisha sina madawa. Na nimeenda huko tena wamenirudisha ati ningoje paka siku yenye watapiga simu.
She will frequently remind him to take his ARVs. Her late husband earned a living by doing menial jobs.
Anameza asubuhi saa 2 na kuna yenye anameza jioni saa 2. Hiyo nayo ni hata watoto wake walikuwa wamejua. Anasikia baba, masaa ndio imefika. Umeza dawa. Hata huyo mtoto wake msichana anakimbia anamletea dawa.
Hell broke loose when her husband's health started deteriorating, reason being lack of ARVs.
Amekufa wiki mbili kama hana madawa kwa nyumba. Akiendanga wanamfukuza.
Rejection from the society took a toll on her husband. A man that was once jovial and happy became an introvert.
Unaona tu mwili yake iko active. Lakini kukosa hiyo dawa. Hata mzee wangu pia alikuwa ameanza kuchange sura. Unaona mwili kama inabadilika, anakuwa mnyonge.
On the morning of 22nd March 2021, the unimaginable happened. He committed suicide.
Na hata ananiacha hivyo. Na watoto wenyewe mimi hata sijui nitafanya kwa watoto wenyewe. Yeye ndiye alikuwa kichwa kwa nyumba. Kila kitu ni yeye. Bana.
The sole breadwinner of the family of 3 was later buried here on 22nd March 2021. She believes stress and depression that emanated from lack of ARVs and rejection from both society and healthcare workers pushed her husband to an early grave.
Kifo yake ni madawa juu ndio alikuwa tu analia. Pia alikuwa amejielewa mwili yake, bila hiyo anajisikia mwili hajisikii vizuri.
49-year-old Alice Vahuya has been living with HIV for 30 years. The mother of 3 from Shikangu village, Butere sub-county, was diagnosed with the disease in the year 2002. She was only 19 years at the time. Taking drugs every day has become her new normal, a routine she's well accustomed to.
Nilitaka nipigiwe kura ya ukansela wakati huo 2007. Watu walikuwa wananiambia hadharani, hii ni kaburi. Hatuna nafasi ya kufanya by election hivi.
She's now an ambassador of hope for those infected and affected with HIV in the area. She says stigma is rife here.
Hata kama kuna uhamasisho, lakini stigma bado iko. Kwa sababu utapata kwamba wakati mwingine yule ambaye anaishi na virusi vya ukimwi akipata ujauzito, yale maswali na zile huduma ambazo mtu hupata inakuelekeza kwamba kumbe haukustahili kupata ujauzito.
Hapana, kutambuliwa.
52-year-old Beatrice Mtevano is living with HIV and she has accepted her HIV status.
Nianza kukosa madawa, napewa dawa ya wiki 2. Hasa hapo ndio mimi nasikia uchungu kwendanga hospitali hiyo period ya kwenda na watu tuko na mashughuli mingi.
A journey she says is full of ups and downs.
Mimi ni mmoja wao, nilikuwa nasema badala niendenge huko nikipewa hizi dawa ya wiki 2. Si niwachane tu na dawa kumeza na nikae.
However, Beatrice is not the only one affected by stigma. Maria and Anne, not their real names, have felt the monster from the service providers in a facility they pick their ARV drugs from.
Dawa na kunywa tu kama kawaida, lakini siku ile ambaye natakana kurudi huko, nakuwa mgonjwa. Yani nafikiria tu vile nitaenda hapo, ukienda hapo ukiangaliwa tu, si as if these nini drugs zenye wanapeana, yani it is just as a favor.
Changamoto yenye mimi naona Butere ni lack of confidentiality.
They opened up and shared their experiences.
Saa zingine kama umechelewa, kama hujaenda ile siku tu yenye ulikuwa unatakana kukuja, wanakufuza, wanakuambia urudi, maybe wanaweza kupatia dawa hata moja, wakuambia urudi the next day, ama wasikupatie dawa yoyote.
Unajua somebody becoming positive sio kupenda kwake. Labda uli contract kutoka kwa your partner, mwenye huku mtuma aende atafuta akuletee.
They reveal they are forced to skip taking drugs on some days for the drugs to sustain them till the next clinic date.
Zingine unameza tu ukipima, hata unazea nimeze nirukeko kesho tena ndio nimeze hiyo siku nyingine. Yani it is Me and me alone. Sina hata mtu wa kulilia. Utalilia nani?
Magonjwa, kuna magonjwa yale yanatokelezea tu, huwezi zuia. Unaweza kuwa na typhoid, sio kwa sababu umekosa kumeza dawa. Unaweza kuwa na malaria, sio sababu umekosa kumeza dawa. Na hizo zote zina affect kinga ya mwili.
Scared by the stigma, many melt away from the praying eyes of the public. Even with life-saving drugs available to them, stigma is one barrier they must conquer. Despite government efforts to fight stigma among people living with HIV, more needs to be done to assist HIV patients who are susceptible to other infections. Program Manager of HIV, AIDS and STI Control at Kakamega County, Dr. Mike Ekisa, acknowledged that stigma is an impediment to war against HIV and AIDS.
Who was found to have committed suicide from Butere sub-county. This was a client who was on treatment in Butere County Hospital. So maybe to put a few facts clear about this client, as we still discuss this matter of stigma, this was a client who was a frequent defaulting behavior from treatment in Butere. So he would come to treatment, abscond, the team looks for him, he comes back, we miss him.
He says county government has rolled down programs to sensitize the community on HIV and AIDS amidst the coronavirus pandemic.
When you show attitude and behavior that discriminates persons living with HIV, you could easily push them away from life. You could push them to stop their treatment. So it's good to educate the public that where we have reached in 2021, when people who live with HIV take their ARV, they are safer than you, and you would not know your status.
Statistics from National AIDS and STI Control Program shows currently Kenya has 1.5 million people living with HIV, with more than 40,000 new infections recorded annually. The report also indicates that 20,997 people die yearly due to HIV and AIDS-related ailments.
Lakini saizi ni wewe na dawa na yule ambaye anakupatia. No any other thing.
Despite numerous campaigns by the government to have people test and know their HIV status, stigma continues to hinder from taking that step. Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
Persons with HIV and not to shun them away from the society despite their status. Now it is a time to get sporty with the dapper man himself, our sports desk news anchor Dennis Otieno. I believe he's got a lot tabled in for us today. Now over to you, Dennis.
Well, thank you, Mudhoni Maina. I must admit you're also looking lovely, but allow me to update you with the latest sports stories taking shape now. Tonight, we will be telling you about the results registered in the FKF Premier League. We shall also be telling you about the Estonia Rally as well as the British Grand Prix. Now, this and more coming up.